The film begins with a deep-sea rescue mission. A rescue diver named Taylor and his fellows have found some survivors in a crashed submarine and struggle to take them back to their rescue vehicle. Things turn ugly real quick as the destroyed submarine starts getting banged from the outside. Taylor takes the survivors to the rescue vehicle and seals its hatch. Unfortunately, he has to leave the other rescue divers behind because if he goes back for them, everybody will die. A few years later, a billionaire named Morris lands with his helicopter on a research facility called Mana 1. Morris is taken to the control room to witness a mission that is supposed to uncover the deepest parts of the ocean. For years, researchers have believed that the Mariana Trench is the deepest part of the ocean, but they have now uncovered that they can go a bit deeper. There is a layer called thermocline they have always considered the bottom, but now their submarine is able to break through that thermocline and go even deeper. Everybody in the control room is excited by this successful mission because they now have access to what they consider to be a whole new world. This new ecosystem is cut out from the rest of the ocean. Out of a sudden, the submarine's radars read some kind of contact. It is something big and it is moving fast. The submarine is attacked and soon the control room loses all contact with it. They immediately call a meeting and try to come up with a solution. They argue that their best option is to get Taylor to help them out. However, one of the men, Heller, believes that is a terrible idea. He was one of the people Taylor saved some years back, but he also saw him leave his fellow rescue divers behind. Taylor had claimed that they had to leave because a giant creature was attacking the crashed submarine, which Heller did not believe. In any case, two members of Mana 1 visit Taylor and ask for his help. To convince him, they make him listen to a recording coming from the lost submarine. In that recording, the female pilot named Loris, who also happens to be Taylor's ex-wife, says that Taylor was right a few years ago. That immediately changes Taylor's mind. Meanwhile, in the submarine, the crew manages to bring the lights back on, but they are attacked by the creature again. That bounce causes Loris to injure herself with a screwdriver, so she tells the others to kill the lights. On the surface, a female researcher named Suyin decides to enter a submersible and see if she can reach the submarine. When the lights came back, Mana 1 received a signal from the submarine, so they now know that the crew might have a chance to be alive. Soon, Taylor arrives on Mana 1, and he enters the rescue vehicle he is going to use for the mission. In there, he finds Suyin's daughter, who seems to know a lot about her mother's personal life. After a funny interaction, the girl asks Taylor if her mother is going to be fine, so the man replies he will bring her mother back in no time. Mac from the control room communicates with Suyin and tells her to get back since Taylor is now here, but she is not coming back until the crew is safe. A few minutes later, Suyin finds the submarine, and she intends to fire a magnetic hook in order to attach the submarine onto her vessel and then pull it along. However, she is attacked by something. While she takes some time to recover, she is attacked again by a giant squid. She warns the control room that her vessel is being squeezed, but soon the giant squid stops attacking. However, that only happens because the squid is now being attacked and taken away by a giant shark. Suyin is terrified when the shark comes back, but it swims just above her vessel. Taylor orders Suyin to speed her turbines and get out of there. She does just that, and Taylor now has the space to attach his vessel onto the crashed submarine. He opens the hatch of the rescue vehicle and then has to break the hatch of the submarine. He pulls in his ex-wife and one member of the crew, but the shark is attacking again. Having run out of time, the last crew member realizes he is not going to make it, and he sacrifices himself in order to buy some time for his friends to escape. When they all return back to Mana 1, Suyin blames Taylor for leaving the crew member behind. On the other hand, Heller apologizes to Taylor because he has been wrong about him. No matter how crazy it is, Taylor was right about the giant creature. The next morning, Suyin apologizes to Taylor as well. She was emotionally unstable yesterday and could not handle losing her crew. Later, the researchers figure out that the creature which attacked them is a Megalodon. Basically, it is a prehistoric shark that is supposed to be extinct. Morris believes this is an opportunity for him, and he wants to send more researchers past the thermocline. When Taylor hears about that, he states that Mother Nature knows what she is doing. The thermocline is placed there for a reason. In any case, he makes it clear that he will not come back to participate in any more rescue missions if they willingly go down there to face the Meg. Suddenly, Suyin's daughter is scared when she sees the Meg swimming just outside the Mana 1 station. The Meg starts attacking and everybody is alarmed. They are even more alarmed when another Meg, bigger than the previous one, comes to eat the smaller Meg. After assessing the damage done to the station, they now receive a new signal and realize the Meg has attacked 3 boats. The researchers now want to put a GPS tracker on the Meg so they know its next moves. Of course, there is nobody better for the job than Taylor. He jumps inside the water and hits the Meg with the tracker when he gets close enough. The crew starts reeling him in, but the vibrations caused in the water notify the Meg about his presence. While the Meg goes after him, the boat starts moving and pulling him. Thankfully, they are able to evade the Meg, and Taylor makes it back on the boat safely. Later, Suyin enters an enhanced cage and dives underwater. The researchers throw some meat inside the water to lure the Meg in. The plan is to bring it close enough so Suyin can hit it, but plans rarely go as well as intended. The cage does not break, but the Meg starts swallowing it. Seeing that, Taylor wears his suit and jumps in the water. Suyin is temporarily saved, but her oxygen mask is broken. Taylor reaches the cage, but the boat is attacked by the Meg at the same time, and the cranes where the cage's strings are attached are thrown into the water. While they will dip deeper and deeper, they will pull the cage down with them. Thankfully, Taylor gets Suyin out of her cage and takes her towards the surface. The problem is, the Meg now goes after them. It seems this is their lucky day as the Meg is caught up in the strings, missing Taylor and Suyin by a few inches. When Suyin wakes up on the boat, she is happy to see that the crew has captured the Meg. While everybody on the boat is having a good time thinking they were successful, another Meg attacks. This one is even bigger in size than the previous ones. The crew members are scattered around in the water and they start looking for survivors. Morris makes a phone call to his people, ordering them to track his phone so they can come and pick them up. In the meantime, Heller sees the shark coming for him and another crew member, Jax. He starts moving abruptly in the sea in order to attract the Meg's attention, and he sacrifices himself so Jax can make it back to the others. At the same time, Mac makes it on a lifeboat, which increases the crew's possibilities of survival. The Meg is after the lifeboat, but now Morris's men come to assist them in a helicopter. The lifeboat makes it back to the station, but Suyin has lost her father on the way. Later, Morris gathers everyone and tells them he has informed the Chinese government about the Meg, and they will send 2 destroyers to deal with it. Eventually, he says there will be more boats coming tomorrow for all of them as he is shutting Mana 1 down until the Meg is killed. As for himself, he makes it out of there that same night in a private helicopter. On the other hand, he is so greedy that he has his men attack the Meg. He sends the helicopter to deploy depth charges against the giant shark, and he waits. As soon as he is notified that the Meg is dead, he approaches it with a boat. He sends one of his men to get him some teeth from the Meg, but they realize they have killed a whale instead. Chaos ensues as the real Meg approaches, and Morris falls off his boat. Soon, he gets eaten. The next morning, the people back on Mana 1 figure out that Morris lied to them, and he did not notify any government about the Meg. On top of that, they also track the Meg and see it is heading towards Sanya Bay, which is a densely populated Chinese beach. That only means one thing, that they need to take action. Soon, the Meg arrives at its destination. Apparently, it has a huge buffet of humans that it can eat. The humans realize there is a huge shark under them, and try their best to get away from it. However, their efforts are futile as the Meg can eat whomever it wants. Thankfully, Suyin and her crew play some whale sounds for the Meg, which is distracted and turns around to go after them. The people at the beach are obviously saved, but Taylor and Suyin now have to look out for themselves. Taylor makes the Meg follow him until Suyin has an open shot and fires a torpedo against it. The Meg is not hurt much and now goes after Suyin. She lures it in until Taylor has a clear shot, but his torpedoes get jammed. The Meg attacks him, but not critically. However, it also attacks the crew's boat, and they are left with nothing. Despite, Taylor has a plan on his own. He intends to make the Meg bleed and then let evolution do its thing. Indeed, he is able to make the Meg bleed, but soon has to abandon his submersible, as it is being chewed by the Meg. As it attacks him, Taylor manages to impale the Meg's eye. It seems like Taylor was right, because now many normal sharks have smelled the blood and they attack the Meg. That gives Suyin some time to come with her own submersible and take Taylor away. The crew makes it on a wedding boat, and Suyin thanks Taylor for dealing with their problems once more.